iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max review, an impressive overhaul. Haven't you heard? Apple has revealed the new line of iPhones, including the iPhone 17, iPhone Air, iPhone 17 Pro Max, and iPhone 17 Pro. The new range's official debut date is Friday, September 19. If you've been eyeing up these new iPhones, Verizon is giving a smart and simple method to get something for nothing. So explain how to acquire it for free as we go. I don't mean AAA games like Destiny, Rising and Genshin Impact, or even AA or NANA titles like Inside or Vampire Survivors, both of which I absolutely like. I'm primarily referring to Snake Clash on YouTube games, the type of thing you obsessively play while pretending to watch a documentary on TV or while sitting on the throne, slowly cultivating a hemorrhoid. The reason I've been playing so much Snake Clash is because I've noticed in my year with an iPhone 16 Pro that countless hours with apps like this cause the device to burn up in my hands. And maybe some other title might likewise push thermal performance in comparable ways, but alas, such is my taste. Also, Inside and Vampire Survivors never caused my phone to get too warm. I spent a lot of time on the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max attempting to get them to run hot, because one of the most interesting improvements this year is a vapor chamber. That thermal management function, coupled with the aluminum unibody construction and 348-megapixel rear cameras, is among the most enticing additions for this iteration. Throw in the powerful A19 Pro chip, now positioned in the plateau, a revolutionary center stage selfie camera, promises of greater battery life, and an eye-catching new color, and frankly, the latest Pro phones seem like a major jump. For my assessment, I focused on the performance, thermal management, photography capabilities, and battery life of the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max. I am packaging them together since, aside from screen size, battery capacity, and pricing, the two are essentially identical. I also spent time checking at Apple Intelligence and iOS 26 capabilities, which won't be exclusive to the new hardware, and I'll recommend you to our iOS 26 preview for a deeper dig on. The service provider is providing up to $1,100, the cost of the iPhone 17 Pro, off a new iPhone 17 when you trade in your old phone and join up for a qualifying unlimited plan. Verizon claims the trade-in can be in any condition, guaranteed. If this doesn't appeal to you, Verizon is providing more than simply iPhone offers. Get up to $400 off a new Apple Watch when you trade in any eligible smartwatch on Unlimited Plus, or if you buy a new iPhone 17 Pro on Unlimited Ultimate with select trade-in, you'll get the Apple Watch Series 11 and iPad A16 for free, the Apple Watch SE 3 or Apple Watch Series 11 for free, or $500 off the Apple Watch Ultra 3. The new iPhone 17 series comes with Apple's latest A19 chip, meaning these phones will all deliver rapid performance. They also have the latest N1 wireless chip that supports Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 6, and Thread. All models have bright OLED displays with ProMotion up to 120 Hz and an always-on option, while cameras start at 48 megapixels, with the Pro versions featuring ultra-wide and telephoto lenses with up to 8x optical zoom. Storage begins at 256 gigs across the board, with the higher-end variants going up to 2 terabytes. That was by the way. When I first picked up the iPhone 17 Pro at Apple Park, I found it refreshingly different from the iPhone 16 Pro I'd been using for a year, and also the iPhone 15 Pro before that, but the longer I caressed the matte edges of my review device, the more I sensed sparks of familiarity. The aluminum unibody here reminded me of the iPhone 8, which is no surprise considering that device was constructed of steel encased in an aluminum band. Both the iPhone 8 and iPhone 17 Pros use the same 7000 series aluminum alloy that's unique to Apple, so that makes sense. Of course, the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max are far from being as slim as the earlier smartphones, but something about the matte finish felt amazing. 2 weeks before the iPhone launch event, my iPhone 16 Pro slid out of my grasp and plummeted to the floor of a dingy public lavatory. It had landed at an uncomfortable angle on its edge and cracked violently. Thankfully, most of the shattered glass was near the bottom edge, but hairline fractures reached up in a curiously attractive pattern to the rear camera module. These didn't cut my hands, but I knew I wanted the next iPhone to be a lot more sturdy. With its aluminum frame shielding the edges of the rear and back, there is little possibility the iPhone 17 Pro will break in the way my iPhone 16 Pro did. Its screen is now protected by ceramic shield too, so if it fell flat on its face, it should still be able to survive the impact. The rear is a touch more exposed, since the 3 cameras still protrude somewhat from the plateau, but those are protected by the same sapphire crystal that prior models were. I've yet to crack an iPhone's camera despite my years of klutzy conduct. One additional way the iPhone 17 Pro is distinct. That orange color, which is evocative of the action button on Apple Watch Ultras. It's also quite close to the tint on some traffic cones, though in a more metallic, burnished sense. Because the iPhone 17 Pro is touted to be so much more durable and scratch-resistant, I'd advocate for simply showing off its vibrant new color by going case-free. I also took a whole number of pictures of the orange iPhone 17 Pro Max I've been testing in a variety of lighting circumstances, so you can better grasp what it looks like in real life. Enjoy. The trio of 48MP cameras on the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max are extremely versatile. Not only are they sharp, megapixel-laden sensors that produce rich detail and brilliant colors, but they also pull double duty and provide additional magnification possibilities. When I was shooting on the iPhone 17 Pro, the camera app offered shortcuts for 0.5x, 1x, 2x, 4x, and 8x, which is slightly different from the iPhone 16 Pro's 0.5x, 1x, 2x, and 5x. As I mentioned those 2 models, I'm well aware that most people aren't going to be considering upgrading from a phone as recent as the iPhone 16 Pro. So I'll simply say that as long as you're shifting from the iPhone 14 Pro and older, you'll receive a considerably superior camera system. For those already on an iPhone 15 Pro, it depends on if you're utilizing a Max model and care a lot about the greater zooming ability. Also, as has been the case in the last few generations of iPhones, Apple's photographs tend to be warmer and more vibrant, whereas Google's seem a touch subdued and gray in comparison. That's a rather subjective assessment, actually, and likely won't influence somebody that's not always carrying both phones around. I had one goal during this evaluation, and that was to determine if the iPhone 17 Pro or Pro Max would be able to last during my testing period without needing a charge, since there was apparently more space and improved efficiency thanks to the redesign creating more area for the battery. I felt, perhaps foolishly, that maybe there would be a leap in endurance. Alas, I was mistaken. The smaller Pro fell short of those admittedly tremendous expectations. The Pro Max did come close. Usually, the larger handset lasts around 2 full days as I go about my review procedure, which typically largely entails camera testing, messaging, and gaming. I tend to spend more time on the smaller device, utilizing it for functions like banking, emailing, social media browsing, and publishing, all in addition to the things I do on the Max. All that is to say that the 2 days I generally get out of the Pro Max is likely due in part to the fact that I use it less than the Pro, so don't expect yours to last that long. Finally, it's worth looking carefully at the iPhone 17 this year. With its new ProMotion screen, dual 48 megapixels rear cameras, and center stage selfie configuration that supports the same dual camera video capability as the Pros, it's an appealing combination for hundreds less. You'll even receive the same portrait mode that the 17 Pros offer, but the Air has its own specific picture processing that permits automated depth capturing with a single camera. If you're a video creator or producer, I should point out that the iPhone Air's USB-C connector is only rated for USB 2 transfer speeds of 480 megabytes per second and doesn't support DisplayPort for video out. The normal iPhone 17 is also USB 2, but does support DisplayPort, while the Pro line can handle USB 3 speeds of up to 10 megabytes per second and DisplayPort. In conclusion, this year's iPhone lineup is causing me to rethink the idea of a Pro phone. Is it one that looks and feels expensive, or is it one that's somewhat more durable and maybe doesn't appear as stylish? I've seen some talk online about how the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max don't appear as nice as before, and that the iPhone Air seems to be the more premium of the family. And while I agree that the Air is a slicker, more appealing gadget, for my purposes the iPhone 17 Pro is still the way to go. Of course, it would be ideal if Apple didn't create this issue with this year's iPhones, but it still needs to observe the laws of physics. I like a solid, robust phone that easily lasts all day, shoots amazing images from all ranges and angles, and won't burn an actual hole in my pocket. It might burn up your wallet, considering the $1,099 price is surely not something everyone can afford, but it does buy some security and longevity. The iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max are a big improvement from prior versions, and I haven't felt this enthused by a new generation of iPhones in a very long time. So, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more exciting tech news and updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.